So this is fun. Trump called into Hannity's show, and he was basically asked to weigh in on Joe Biden staying in the race and being defiant. And his commentary is interesting. Listen to this.
You know, it looks to me like he may very well stay in. He's got an ego, and he doesn't want to quit. He doesn't want to do that. It just looks to me like that's what he wants. I think Jill would like to see him stay. She's having a good time. I notice she really seems to be having a good time, and I'm hearing that Hunter is calling the shots. So this isn't necessarily a very positive thing for our country. But I think he, might very well stay in. And if he does, nobody wants to give that up that way. He's going to feel badly about himself for a long time. It's hard to give it up that way, the way where they're trying to force him out.
That's so illuminating because Trump genuinely sounds sympathetic. Now, look, he also has every reason in the world to try to, keep him in, basically, because he knows he's the weakest opponent. But he does sound genuinely sympathetic. And also, it could work in a reverse way where him, understanding where Biden is coming from, that can make it more likely Democrats are like, oh, that's a bad sign. We want the opposite of whatever Trump wants. Let's get rid of Biden, right? But he gets it. What does he say? Look, he's got an ego. Nobody wants to give that up that way. He'll feel really badly about himself. But the admission here embedded in all this is me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. All about me. All about my narcissism. All about my selfishness. All about my career. All about my legacy. And ironically, this is the thing that, his legacy is already destroyed because of the genocide in Gaza, but this would cement the legacy to literally almost everybody in the fucking country if Biden stays in and loses to Trump. But quote, he's got an ego. Nobody wants to give up that way. He'll feel badly about himself. This is Trump. So this is coming from a guy who lost in 2020 and literally to this day cannot accept and acknowledge that he lost. He still says it's rigged. He still says they stole it. He's talks about it every time he does a rally, every time he does an interview. This comes up in some way, shape, or form. And so a guy who couldn't let go of power even when the decision was made for him because it's just the facts of reality, of course he's going to look at the other guy and say, look, you don't want to give up power because there's anything these two men share in common. It is a massive, massive lust for power and prestige. And by the way, everything else Trump said there about Jill Biden and Hunter Biden, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He said, look, Jill's having a good time. She looks like she's having a good time. Guys, the same time there was this massive scandal about Jill dragging Biden around after the debate and propping him up and you answered all the questions. Good job, Joe. You did amazing. Good job, Joe. Magazine came out. It was Vogue. Jill Biden was on the cover of it. And it's so we see why you're doing what you're doing. How disgusting and evil is it that this woman got a little taste of power and is now I'll humiliate and embarrass my husband and trot him out there and prop up his carcass as long as I still get the shining lights on me. And the funny thing is, while she's trying to hold on to power and relevance and prestige, she's destroying her name to the world because everybody sees through how transparent it is. The reason why you want him to stay in there is because you'd never be on the fucking cover of Vogue otherwise. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It's unbelievable. And then the Hunter thing, yeah, look, that story came out. It's true. Hunter Biden is now in Joe Biden's inner circle, and he's helping him make political decisions. This is a guy who has everything on the line here. He knows if there's a Republican president, maybe his ass ends up in jail. And so what is he doing? He's like, I'm going to steer the ship. I'm going to tell my dad, you got to stay in. You got to keep going. You're a Biden. Biden's never quit. So Trump's right about all that. It's Biden's ego. And here's the other thing. We know that if the shoe was on the other foot, Trump's having mental problems, but he's a little behind Biden in terms of how bad it is. Let's be honest. But if Trump gets worse mentally, which is very possible if he wins again, you know damn well he'd act exactly like Biden. He wouldn't give a fuck if he was down 20 points in the polls for the next election, for the midterm. He'd be like, I don't fucking care. This is more about me than it is about you. Piss off. I'm the boss. So, game recognized game. Old, decrepit, power-hungry freak recognizes old, decrepit, power-hungry freak. That's what we're witnessing here. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.